What's up, guys and gals? It's time for the latest chapter live reaction for Kengan Omega. Kengan Omega chapter 267, entitled Julius versus Agito. Now, before we get right underway with the live reaction, I thought about including some stuff I was going to complain about at the beginning of this video or at the end of this live reaction. But then I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to be making a separate video, so definitely look forward to that, guys. Can't promise that it'll be out maybe by this weekend, maybe next week. But I want to talk about the real tournament, and suffice it to say, I want to talk about why it's actually way better than the Kengan community and supposed fans, quote unquote, are completely wrong about this, judging it too harshly. And I think a lot more people should drop the series, because the real tournament so far has been a solid 8 out of 10, and even my own perceptions and opinions on even the last fight have actually, I've changed my tune on that. And I'll tell you guys why in that video, once again, but I didn't want to, spend 10-15 minutes talking about the reasons as to why. So instead, we're just going to go ahead with chapter 267, but this is just a quick forewarning that I will be making a video saying why the real tournament actually so far has been great. So anyways, let's get on to probably the most anticipated round of, or the anticipated fight of round 1 of the real tournament. Julius versus Agito. How will technique, the man, the myth, the legend, who stands up and says overwhelming strength, overwhelming power, technique won't matter. Kano Agito, Wakatsuki, even Kuroki, I will surpass them all. This is Julius Reinhold, just proving that this right here, not very impressive, but this right here is all that matters. I'm curious to see how it's going to work, so let's go. So chapter 267, Julius versus Agito. The crowd is going wild. Isn't this a tremendous cheer, Jerry? And for good reason, because we got a dream match coming up next. Yeah, this is going to be good. I'm curious to see the characters like the Wakas and the Juliuses and the Toas and stuff. How will they stack? Because we know what happened, but we didn't see it. We just know that Roland was able to beat Toa. But, a guy like this, like, how can Julius actually defeat an A-level martial artist? The monster, Julius Reinhold. Now that's a good shot. That's a really good shot. The fifth Fang of Metsudo, Kano Agito. Let's go. Let's go. So boom, they're stepping up. This is a matchup we've never seen before in the Kengan matches. It is truly a dream match, and I would argue for the power scaling community especially, this is a dream matchup. What this is going to show or prove is how far power will actually get you. For example, I would argue even to some people, and I've seen some people argue this, and people say they're nuts, but honestly, I think Julius probably has more actual physical power than any character in this series, including Shen. Shen knows how to utilize his muscles, his power, his technique for the optimal amount of strength, but I would argue that in just overall destructive capability, in just pure raw strength, I would say Julius is probably the strongest in the series, bar none. But will it matter against top tier fighters? That's the cool thing. So let's see. Both fighters are still registered with the Kengan Association, but Julius is also registered with D4. Now I'd like to direct your attention to the sky. You see the D4 matchup there. As I'm sure you're all aware, D4 is currently the 3rd largest underground martial arts promotion in the country, following the Kengan Association and Purgatory. Alright, so we're going to go on we're going on a bit of a history. I don't really care where D4 comes from, honestly. It started in the 1960s as a joint venture by 4 tycoons, but after the bubble burst in the 1990s, their profits waned and they were bought up by a new owner. And after changing hands several more times, hey look, it's the billionaire. He's the daddy long legs of the underworld. Daddy long legs of the underworld. I've never heard someone compared to a spider, like the daddy long legs. What? Is that like an affectionate term or something? It finally recovered financially under the management of none other than Mr. Toyoda Idematsu. And together with Purgatory, the second biggest underground martial arts promotion in the country, and Garo, his new promotion, it became the 3rd underground martial arts promotion owned by Mr. Toyoda. Okay, so we have Purgatory, D4, and Garo, which includes what, funnily enough, 2 out of 3 are Kengan champions. So Julius is the champion of D4, Galang is the champion of Garo, and of course Roland for Purgatory. So let's see, Yamagohan, Mr. Itamatsu donated D4 to the Kengan Association just last year, most likely for this very tournament. No one would question Julius transferring to D4 as long as it's a subsidiary of the Kengan Association. I mean, I don't think anybody really cares, but look at Julius just towering, like at 205 centimeters, 215 kilograms. All of this is to prove that I am the strongest. And he's just looking down on Agito. Agito, I admire your spirit, and I accept your challenge. Granted, because Julius, where he lost in Purgatory, or he only had one real match that he lost in the second round of the Kengan Annihilation tournament, and then he beat up on Toa. We never actually saw him fight an actual skilled martial artist, you know what I mean? So this should be interesting. Though, what's with this height difference? 201, he's 4 centimeters, which is what, like not even a full inch shorter, and they're looking up and down at each other? No, that's not how an inch works, just saying, but okay. 132 kilograms, Jesus. So Julius weighs almost, weighs 80 kilograms-ish more than, goddamn. Alright, so let's see. Shina Alisa will be serving as the referee. Just look at that loud dress she's wearing. Loud dress. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have my preferences in, you know, like everybody does. But that dress is not leaving very much to the imagination. And obviously, I guess she's just not my type. It's time to start. Are you two ready? Take your stance. Oh, that's an interesting side panel there. Alright. Let's go. So, boom, boom. Wait. Is that... Oh, is he using the Gottsringda or whatever it is? The tightening of all the muscles thing he used in Purgatory. Is he using that right away? Let's say, is that... Yeah, so Julius just starts off with this, with his arms. Gott Toter. Steinbroraf. Sure. I don't speak German. I can't do the that German requires. It's the God Killer Rock Drills. So much easier to say that. So, the God Killer. He took Toa Mudo out. Wasn't it Mundo? Or is it Toa Mudo? Out in one punch with that. Is he really going to use it right off the bat? Alright, and here we go. Fight, and Julius is about to come down with this right away. Now remember, even though it was similar, Toa has something similar to Redirection Kata and Water Kata. The ability to, you know, disperse damage and stuff. And this hit was basically like, no. The God Killer was basically like, yeah, no, overwhelming power. Screw your techniques. You won't be able to disperse this amount of damage. You won't be able to dodge this amount of power, sort of idea, is the point of this move. And so Julius starting off with this ace in the hole right away makes sense against Agito. Let's see. Boom. And does he hit Agito? Even Agito, that would break something. Because Julius is trying in this panel. Salam. You feel the vibrations in the panel. And then, oh. See, look. Oh. Formless. It's formless time. See, he's not trying to disperse the damage like redirection, and he's not trying to harden his body like indestructible. This is more like the water. This is more pre-initiative mixed with formless, I would argue. Unless he is trying to do it, because it depends. Maybe I should keep reading. But yeah, I think Agito managed to dodge that by the skin of his teeth with a combination of formless and pre-initiative. Because once again, Gao Lang might be able to outpace pre-initiative, but Julius, as far as we know, can't. So pre-initiative is going to be incredibly helpful here. And boom, they're shocked, and Julius is like, huh? And so then he goes for it with his... So Julius struck with his right arm. Now he's going up for his left against Agito's face. And boom, no dice. Oh, alright. Actually, that looks really cool. How it's just, now they're just going full form. He's just going right into water. This is reminding me of where it was a little less inked, but it was the same idea that it almost looked like they were turning into a formless, like, water droplet sort of idea. When they were using pre-initiative, it was a combination of, like, misty water smoke idea. So I like this. So, boom, he's been dodging and then, It's the formless style. Now that's what I came here to see. I would argue this isn't exactly formless, though. Formless would allow him to be able to, all formless does is allow him to basically adapt in a nanosecond to basically anything that comes at him, sort of idea. But this is pre-initiative. This is the inception of intent mixed with formless. This is something that this isn't just formless. Like, that's too cool. That looks, I love that swirling. I hope I can use that as this thumbnail. That looks awesome. I think this is all to do with inception of intent and pre-initiative. That's why he was able to dodge it. Because as was stated in the Toa fight, if I'm remembering correctly, is that, like, going limp, water kata equivalent, and redirection and stuff won't matter against this move. Like, it's just got too much. So you either outright dodge the punch completely before it hits. There's no way to... But it looks to me like what he was doing with Kuroki before. It looks like pre-initiative shit. Yamagohan immediately here says, no, it's not. So this isn't formless? I feel like it is formless. No, it's not. That looked clearly different from the formless style he's used in the past. Wait a minute. Does that mean that there's something that this is like a higher, like he's reached a new level of formless? Because he said, no, it's not the formless style. It looked different from the one he's used in the past. He didn't say it's this, not that. Maybe Agito's evolved his formless. Remember his big thing was always about evolution? Like, he kept evolving during the fights. It's why so many people, myself included, hated the Hatsumi fight, because it felt unfair, because Hatsumi clearly would have won the fight before he fought against the fourth Fang of Metsudo. Had he not fought him in between rounds, Hatsumi would have beat Agito. And then all of a sudden he comes out there, oh, I've awakened, I've evolved, I've unlocked my new Super Saiyan form, and now I can kick your ass. You know, it was like incredibly convenient, and I was a big Hatsumi fan, so that really sucked. But if he's evolved since his loss against Arashiyama... Alright, next page. Something's changed in a brief span of time. Well, that was Agito's whole thing. He evolved around... It's something that I didn't like in the Annihilation Tournament. Now I sort of respect it. Now that I can go back and reread it and stuff, and I actually have a better opinion of Agito. Actually, since Omega, which is funny. I didn't like Agito when I read Ashura. I liked him after reading and catching up with Omega. And going back to Ashura, I like Agito more now than I did back then. So, but his whole thing was constantly adapting and evolving, right? That was his shtick. So something's changed in a brief span of time. That would make total sense considering he lost. Him losing against Jiroda would immediately make this man be like, no, I'm not taking that line down. Julius, you're a worthy adversary. Here I come, Kano. Julius, I'm going to show you a world you never knew. I guess in that regard, Agito is going to show him the world. Shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, Julius, what does your heart Alright, yeah, okay. So, other than the bad Aladdin lines here, that's the end of the reaction and the end of the chapter. Yeah. I'm excited. Both of them came out of the gate with new Julius using his ace in the hole, his best, strongest move that we know of right out of the gate, to be like, I'm going to overwhelming power. His whole personality totally suits Julius. And he doesn't underestimate Kano. Who would? And Agito whipping out a brand new, you think that my loss to Arashiyama, that I didn't hit the gym and improve like crazy? Are you crazy? The fifth Fang of Matsuda, the king of the Kengan matches, the emperor himself, taking anything lying down? No. Man's going to improve drastically. This fight is about to be awesome. This fight is going to be so good. And once again, stay tuned for that video. I was going to put it on this one, but I recorded part of it before doing my reaction, and then I realized, I said nope, and I just said I'm just going to re-record the intro again because I looked at the timer and I was up to 12 minutes talking about the real tournament, my opinion, blah blah blah, why it's good and why the Kengan community as a whole isn't giving it enough of a chance. They're too negative, they're too toxic, etc. I'm going to save that for a separate video. So far, 267, good chapter. I agree that dress is very loud and doesn't work for me in my preference, but it is what it is. But Julius versus Agito, what is this new form? Has he found a way to take the pre-initiative and combine it so his style, his formless style, actually is pre-initiative? Is his style truly sort of like, I guess, Dragon Ball Z or Super, I guess, like basically Ultra Instinct? Like, his whole style is this form, like pre-initiative has now been incorporated as part of the form. It's not something he turns on and off. His new formless style has evolved and combined the two to create a brand new Formless 2.0. Maybe. That's my assumption at this point, but I'm sure we're going to find out a better explanation next chapter as to what he's actually improved or evolved into his formless form. So, either way, that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys back here next time for chapter 268. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. Bye-bye.